Hello, this is a video response contest entry to my good buddy Tod E Walnuts. He's having a 500 sub contest. Congrats to you, Todd. Awesome on hitting 500 subs, dude. I will put a link to his channel as well as the contest video down in the doobly-doo. Go check out his channel. If you're into horror and more obscure releases, he is definitely a one to check out. He has a lot of stuff, you know, not just the Scream Factories, not just Criterions, and not just your mainstream releases. He's got stuff, you know, like me, that I'm in the same thing, Sub Rosa releases, Code Red releases, obviously the Scorpion and Vinegar Syndrome, and all these things. Plus, he's got stuff from the DVD days from a lot of these things, and not just the Blu-ray. So if you're just getting into the game now, he's definitely somebody to check out because he has a lot of the older stuff you've probably not heard of yet. So definitely check out his channel, participate in the contest, and yeah, tell him I sent you because he wants to know, I'm sure, because I mean, he watches this, I'm sure. So what did he want to do? He wanted to, the first question he wanted to answer was to show 5 editions in your collection, your 5 favorite editions in your collection. Now, one of them normally I would say would be that Twilight Zone complete box set. The first time Twilight Zone was ever fully released as a full series to the public, the DVD set that I had. But I've shown that in a video not like literally recently, so I'm not going to show that in this video, though normally I would. And honestly, I've been trying to pick different things because, you know, you want to show off different things in the collection. So some of these would be ones that I would show normally, other ones maybe not so much. I'm going to start with DVDs first here, and the first one I'm going to go with here is the Lord of the Rings Fellowship of the Ring. This is the special extended DVD edition collector's DVD gift set. Right, it comes in this beautiful packaging, and it's got the, I don't know if you can see through the, there you go. See that? Those are bookends, right? And I'm not going to unbox this or anything like that. I might do that in a future video. But I love this. I love, out of all the DVD gift sets, all 3 of the Lord of the Rings DVD extended editions came out in a gift set form. Out of all 3 of them, this I think is the most useful. The one I like the most, because they're bookends, right? If you're a Lord of the Rings fan and you've got the Lord of the Rings and, you know, J.R.R. Tolkien's works, whether it be The Hobbit, Silmarillion, etc., 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 or even his son's stuff, on your bookshelf, wouldn't it be awesome, you know? Bookends. That's kind of the reason why I wanted it, but I keep it in the package so I don't use them like that. Honestly, I'm waiting until, well, I don't know if I'm waiting. One of my thoughts about this gift set and those particular bookends was eventually I will have, you know, I won't be living in a condo, I will be living in a house, and one of the things I've always wanted was a proper library, so, you know, built-in wall-to-wall shelving with books in it, and on it would be my, you know, Tolkien section with those 2 bookends, you know, boom, front and center, there you go. And I think it would look fantastic. So that was kind of my thoughts behind that one. But yeah, that's the first one I'm gonna go with, or number 5, if you will. Number 4, also DVD, something I didn't manage to get when it first came out, and then sold out really quickly. But I found somebody locally who had posted it, I think it was on Kijiji or Craigslist or something like that, that he had it. And the pictures I looked at, I was like, oh my god, that's the one. And that's the Puppet Master DVD box set, full collection, sealed, never opened. And the thing about this is, if you know Full Moon and you know the story, essentially he didn't have the rights to all these, so he couldn't release them as this box set, so he had to pull it down. At least I think that's the way the story goes, right? And then what he was able to do, so he wasn't able to keep pressing them, so he sold what he had in stock. But few years later, out of nowhere, Charles Band goes, "Oh my God, look at this! I found, you know, the box set. A bunch of ones that we didn't know we had. We must have put them in the back corner or something like that." You know, it seems to happen a lot with Charles Band, which it does happen when you're a small company of that nature and you have such a long history of stuff. You know, when you're ordering thousands and thousands of these releases, imagine how much space thousands of these would take up. Yes, it is possible a box or something gets shoved to the back, but for anybody who actually owned this release, when the new one came out, you notice something. Now, if you'll take a look here, see that full moon? See that little... Yeah. That wasn't on the release that he found in his warehouse, right? That's the release I originally bought, and I have. But this here, this is the original Puppet Master box set release, and it's sealed. I will probably never open this. I have no reason to open this. This is literally just, for me, it's a collectible, and I didn't pay a lot of money for this. This was a huge, great buy for me. Essentially, the guy was going bankrupt and getting kicked out of his place, and he was selling off everything he had, and he just needed whatever money he could get to, you know, essentially pay the rent for the next month, and so he could, you know, until his checks, he's just started working again and his checks were coming in, and literally I gave him everything I could for that. Honestly, there's what that's valued at, what I think it's valued at, and what my heart thinks it's valued at. I gave him essentially what the new box set was going for that. I think it goes for it. Honestly, I don't even know. I don't even know how you'd price that out, because honestly, the original pressing sealed, I don't even know if you're going to find that anywhere. So I don't know what the value on it. And then, of course, my heart, in my mind, I'm like, $1,000. I'll give you $1,000. I don't have $1,000, but if I did, I would give it to you, because I just wanted to have that so bad. So the value of stuff is hard to say, but I gave him as much money as I could at the time, and because he had other stuff I would have bought, but I just didn't have any more money, and that's what I wanted, you know. For number 3, another DVD edition. Now, this is something that everybody should have in their collection. Even if you're only into Blu-rays, you need to get Evil Dead, the Book of the Dead edition. This is an Anchor Bay release, where Mr. Sullivan, the guy who did the effects on Evil Dead, designed this case. Gets a little dusty though. Like I said, this should be in your collection, and if it's not, you're missing out, because this is you know what, I'm gonna open it up. I'm gonna show you. Normally I wouldn't do this on this type of video, but look at this. Skin goes all the way inside, and then you got, the Book of the Dead. Oh, it's so gorgeous. Look at that, the illustrations and everything. You know, like as if they're inked in blood. Got a booklet. Oh, it's just, I love this release. Love it, love it, love it. And if you are an Evil Dead Army of Darkness fan of any kind, this should be on your shelf. And it should be on your shelf. Maybe in a glass case or something, so it doesn't get as dusty, but... Now on to the Blu-rays. Now the 2 things in Blu-rays that I'm picking here are probably going to be in multiple people's lists, so it's no real surprise. First one should be in everybody's list, and that's the Halloween complete series box set from Scream Factory and Anchor Bay combined together. There are the 2 versions, you know, one's the smaller one, and then there's this one. This is the one to get. If you can find it. Now, if you can find it, and honestly, if you're finding it new, because there is a problem with one of the discs here. It's still watchable, not a problem, but there is a problem with one of the discs here, and I do believe the disc exchange program for it is over. So if you're going to be buying this and you're a completist and you want everything perfect, you're better off buying it used, and make sure somebody has already switched out the you know, faulty disc. This is the faulty disc, and replaced it with the proper disc. If you buy it new, you're not going to have that because they didn't do the exchange. It's still great, still worth getting, but you're going to have to essentially do your own little swap of discs there. It is possible to do that. The disc is essentially just the same disc out of the regular Blu-ray release, as far as I know. So that's the thing. Finally, the last one, and the creme de la creme here, is a Criterion Collection. The beautiful, 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 beautiful Zatoichi Blind Swordsman collection. The amazing Gigantor box set that is not something you should be buying unless you can get it on like the Criterion sale from Barnes & Noble, which is where I bought it, because you know, you have 50% off, saves you a lot of money when it's such an expensive item, because that's not cheap at all. I'm so happy to have it. I think I've only watched like 3 of the movies so far, because, well, there's so many of them, right? But yeah, so that's the first part of Tod E Walnuts question. The second question is, well, let's get to it. Okay, the next question from Todd was, what are 5 releases that you don't own but you want in your collection? Now, unfortunately, 4 of the ones I'm going to pick are out of print, which is why I want them in my collection. But if I can even find them, money, right? The first 2, number 5s and 4, are SRS Cinema Sub Rosa releases that were limited editions. But unlike most people doing limited editions, these weren't limited to a certain number of editions. They were limited to a certain time period, a time frame. So he was selling these for during a certain time period, and if you didn't buy it during that time period, you didn't get them. It's that simple. Now, there are BDRs, and I'm sure the amount that he pressed were very, very small in comparison to some of his other releases because of this limited time frame. But I didn't have any money when they came out, and you're wondering what that is. Well, it's Gorhor and Gorotica. I think they're sort of like sleazy gore, shot on video, low budget type things. I think, I don't know, I haven't seen them, but yeah. So those are my 5 and 4. Number 3 is actually one of the things Todd's giving away, and that is the Herzog collection from, I think it's Shout Factory released that, and I'm not a big Werner Herzog fan, but I do like quite a number of his films that I've seen, but I haven't seen many of them, honestly. I've seen maybe 10 films that he's released at the most. So to get a whole bunch of his films in one collection is great, but at the same time, it's hard to blind buy something like that when you're like, I like a small amount of what I've seen, but I dislike a lot of what I've seen. Do I want to drop that kind of money on a Blu-ray set like this or not? So, hey, if I win this collection, awesome, because yes, like he says, most people will pick that one as the, you know, if they come in as the main winner, and I would definitely be one of those, because it's hard to say. I don't know if I could ever drop the money on this release. Yeah, I don't know. Werner Herzog is one of those filmmakers who's he's got his fans. Some people absolutely love him, but some people just not their cup of tea. So yeah, ooh, if I could win it, that would be the best option possible. In at number 2 is an out-of-print Blue Underground release, and that's Dario Argento's The Bird with the Crystal Plumage. Yes, there is another release that has come out of that film since, but it's like a bare bones release in comparison. So I kind of want the Blue Underground release with all the extras. If I'm going to get it, might as well get it that way. Though, it goes for too much money. Absolutely way too much money. So I will almost guarantee that unless I find it out in the wild in a pawn shop somewhere down the road, I will likely never ever own the Bird with the Crystal Plumage Blu-ray release from Blue Underground. I'll probably pick up the DVD because I can get that, and then just get the Blu-ray for the, I guess, the upgraded video quality. And finally, the number one is an out of print that just went out of print recently, suddenly, without notification, almost, until it was too late. And it's dried up. There's no place to find it that I've been able to find it, and that's the Scream Factory release of the Vincent Price Collection Volume 1. Again, it's partly my fault. I never bought it when it first came out. There's just so many releases out there. I can't afford to get them all. I want them all. I mean, this is like a top 5 release, you know, that I want. This is what I want right now. These are the ones that I'm kind of hunting for and looking and keeping my eyes out for. But at the same time, I mean, there's probably thousands of releases of other titles and stuff that I also want. So yeah, unless somebody has the winning lottery ticket numbers out there that they want to give me, I don't see me getting most of what I want. Let alone any of these, considering 4 of the 5 are out of print. And yeah, now the Gorotica and Gore Horror, unfortunately, I don't know that you're gonna find those releases short of maybe in a contest or something right now, because the people who bought them were people who wanted them. You may luck out and somebody blind bought them and then didn't like them and then they're getting rid of them, but the likelihood is people who have them wanted them and they're part of their collection, so they're not likely going to be found, let alone, you know, the price tag on them. So those two, I'm not if I come across them, of course, hey, great. If I have the cash, I will get them, but they're not just, you know, something that I'm actually thinking I'm going to find. The Herzog collection, like I said, it's one of those things where unless I have extra cash and I've got pretty much everything at that point in time that I want, will never happen, then I would jump on that. But it's far down on though this is the top 5 list of what I would like, collections that I would like, it's down on my list in terms of priority of getting, because it's so expensive for what it is. But I would love to have it in my collection just simply to be able to go through it and watch, you know, the Herzog films that I like on Blu-ray, be able to see the other Herzog films to see if I like them, and you know what, having it all in one spot is definitely the way to go. And the other two, money. Yeah, the Blue Underground Crystal Plumage release, you can find it out there on eBay and such every once in a while. Price, too much, not going to do it. The Vincent Price collection, I have not been able to find it anywhere online. I haven't been able to find any stores that have any copies left. Unfortunately, with a lot of Scream Factory titles, even the independent stores, the few that are remaining, they may get 1 or 2 in, and then once they sell out, they usually don't restock it unless somebody wants to order it in. In which case, yeah, sure, they'll order it in. Can't do that now with this particular release because it's out of print, so whatever's out there is out there, and everybody, as soon as they heard that it went out of print, they jumped on it and they, you know, they bought up everything that was there. If some stores showed 5 left, they probably bought all 5 because they knew the price online honestly quadrupled over, like, in 5 minutes. I don't know, some of the people online who are resellers and such and eBay listings and such, they were switched them over and changed the price like instantly. So yeah, if you got it, congratulations, you lucked out. If you're one of the people who managed to get one of the last few remaining copies, you know, at Amazon and stuff like that, wow, you are lucky people. I unfortunately was not one of them. Even if I had the cash, which I didn't and I still don't, I was not going to be able to get it because it just wasn't there. So there you go. Those are my 5 releases in my collection to show off, and the 5 releases that I would love to add to my collection, but you know, likely never will. Yeah, so again, congratulations, Todd. 500 subs, awesome, keep it coming. Love watching your videos. Link to his channel and the contest video down below in the doobly-doo. Check him out. Until next video, guys, take care. Have a good one.